The night I saw his true colors. I never thought I'd experience something like this. I always believed that cheating and humiliation happened to other people, to couples with shaky relationships, not to me. But last weekend proved me completely wrong. It started on a Friday evening. My boyfriend, Jason, had texted me about a dinner with his work friends. Normally, he didn't include me in his professional life, always claiming it wasn't appropriate or professional. So when he invited me, I was genuinely excited. I even splurged on a new outfit, did my full makeup routine, straightened my hair, basically treated it like a mini fashion event. I arrived at the upscale downtown restaurant, a place with tiny portions and prices that made me gasp. Jason was already there with two guys I'd never met, Mark and Ethan. From the second I walked in, something felt off. Jason barely acknowledged me with a half-hearted wave and a muttered, "You're late." I had been exactly 2 minutes late, thanks to impossible parking. I sat down, smiling nervously, but my smile faltered when he glanced at my dress and scoffed loudly, "Oh, you wore that?" His friends exchanged smirks, and my stomach sank. I had chosen a simple, elegant navy dress. I thought it looked nice. I tried to brush it off with a joke about a dress code, but he just shrugged. The next hour was brutal. Jason dominated the conversation, talking about work in ways I didn't understand, while dismissing my attempts to contribute. When I mentioned something about a customer at my store, he waved it off, saying, "You don't really get how business works." I've been managing my store for 3 years, and yet I felt like a child. Then Mark asked how we met. I began telling the story, but Jason cut me off mid-sentence, laughing, "Yeah, I was doing her a favor. She got lucky." My stomach dropped. That wasn't how it happened at all. My friend Claire had introduced us because she genuinely thought we'd be compatible. I excused myself to the bathroom to text her, trying not to cry. When I returned, the dinner continued, each bite of my food accompanied by Jason's cruel comments. I had ordered a modest pasta dish, trying to be mindful of my budget, and he mocked me openly, making remarks about my body. I pushed food around my plate, counting down the minutes until I could escape. Then the bill arrived. Jason picked it up, and I assumed he was just looking at the total. Instead, he slid it across and said, "I think we should break up. I'm not attracted to you anymore. This isn't working." And just like that, he stood up, grabbed his jacket, and walked out with his friends, leaving me with a $350 bill and a heart racing with disbelief. I sat there, stunned, then drove home in a daze, calling my friend Claire once I was inside my apartment. She brought over ice cream and wine, and we sat together while I recounted everything. It was unbearable. I felt humiliated, betrayed, and most importantly, confused. That's when Claire dropped a bombshell. "Sabrina, I don't know if you realize this, but Jason isn't who he says he is." I froze. What did she mean? She explained that she had a coworker named Cody, who revealed that Jason's job claims were fake. He wasn't an up-and-coming marketing executive. He was an assistant. All those big projects he bragged about, he'd just been doing minor tasks. The fancy LinkedIn title? Total fiction. Over the next few days, I dove into full detective mode. Texts, photos, old conversations, I scrutinized everything. There were so many lies, so many fabrications. My mind was spinning. How could I have missed this for 2 whole years? Cody met me at a coffee shop to explain even more. Jason had been lying about late nights, business trips, and even about me being clingy. Apparently, at work, he had been warned multiple times for taking credit for others' work. Everything fit together. His desperate need to appear successful explained so much. Then came the birthday dinner. Jason had told his family we were still together, claiming we had big news. I knew I couldn't just ghost them. I couldn't let them be deceived. With Claire and Cody's help, I devised a plan. I would attend the dinner, calmly, and let the truth emerge naturally. I spent the next day preparing mentally, rehearsing what I would say, going over the details of Jason's lies. When I arrived at his parents' house, Jason's expression was priceless. He had not expected me to actually show up. He tried to pull me aside, whispering, "We need to talk privately." But I smiled and said loud enough for everyone to hear, I wouldn't miss this chance to share what really happened last week. Dinner began, and Jason's attempts to dominate the conversation fell flat. His family started asking questions he couldn't answer. Cody, seated beside me, confirmed the truth about Jason's promotion and the fake projects. Each lie unraveled as his parents and sister pressed for answers. His grandstanding, his fake bravado, it all collapsed. When I finally recounted the dinner incident, how he belittled me, humiliated me, and left me with the bill, his dad looked disappointed. His sister nodded knowingly, and his grandma snorted at his excuses. Jason exploded in anger, accusing me of turning his family against him, but no one bought it. After he stormed out, the room felt calm. His parents apologized to me, expressing heartbreak over their son's behavior. Cody and I stayed to help clean up, sharing a quiet moment of solidarity. That night, I finally felt a sense of closure. I had stood my ground, told the truth, and been supported by people who mattered. The next morning, my phone was flooded with frantic calls. Jason had gone on a wild rampage, messaging coworkers, posting on social media, and even showing up at my apartment building. His mother and sister came over to make sure I was safe, and Cody stayed as well, providing calm support. Security had to intervene at one point, but I remained composed, knowing I had handled everything with dignity. In the weeks that followed, Jason lost his job and eventually moved out of state. I reorganized my apartment, reclaimed my space, and started to rebuild my life. I even developed a friendship with Cody, someone who had witnessed the chaos and understood everything. Looking back, I'm no longer angry, not entirely. I'm grateful. Not for dating Jason, certainly not, but for uncovering the truth before things got worse. I learned who he really was, and that knowledge gave me power, closure, and a renewed sense of self.
Thanks for watching. Don't miss the next story.